status of another big name in the NBA, LeBron James. Will he or won't he play tonight? He remains a game-time decision for their game in Boston. LeBron has missed the last 8 games because of an abdominal strain, and coming in tonight, James had been hopeful he'd be able to play. They certainly could use his offense. LeBron's missed 10 games this season. The Lakers are 4-6 without him, and when LeBron's been on the court this season, the Lakers have averaged 111 points a game. That actually drops to 108 when he is not there. LA's feeling LeBron's absence on the defensive end as well, allowing 4 points more per game. Here's the countdown crew setting the table for tonight.
All right, El, thank you very much, and welcome to TD Garden in Boston. I'm Greeny. That's Stephen A. That's Jalen Rose. Michael Wilbon is with us as well. And as you just mentioned, the big story tonight, will he or won't he, will we see the return of LeBron James? The man who begins the answer to that question is our own Adrian Wojnarowski, who's standing by courtside. Woj, what do we know right now?
Greeny, I'm told that LeBron James is going to make his decision on returning tonight after pregame warm-ups. He's going to come out here, work out that abdominal strain, and see if he can go after missing 8 straight games with these Lakers. And they're 4-6 without him this season. He missed an additional 2 games with that ankle injury. So we'll know here after LeBron James comes out, warms up, and sees if he can come out and face the Boston Celtics.
All right, well, thank you very much. And I'll mention that the video that you saw when El was talking was from the other night in Milwaukee. So we'll see if LeBron is able to go tonight, if and when he does return. And again, Michael Wilbon is with us tonight as well. What is it the Lakers need LeBron to be in order for them, they're right now a 500 basketball team, to achieve what they want this season?
They need him to be LeBron James. And let me be the first to say, I still don't think that'll be good enough. He'll step back on the court. They'll need him to average 25 to 27 a game. They'll need him to showcase his greatness. They'll need him to run their offense. They'll need the offense to run through him. They'll need everything from him. And even then, I don't believe it'll be good enough. I've told y'all why on numerous occasions, and I'm going to tell you again.
Why is
because
that?
of the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, really?
Go ahead, James.
Oh, so we really going to write off LeBron James and Anthony Davis so very early in the season. Here's what we need from him. Aggression. Points in the paint, getting to the free throw line, making his open shots, leadership, and the ability to close games. Yeah. Having LeBron back, Greeny, is going to put everybody back in their normal position, and the Lakers will be just fine.
That was a very long list of things that you're looking for a guy at his age and this point of his career. Michael Wilbon, is it realistic to ask that much of LeBron James at this stage of his career?
Less so, Greeny, than ever before. I mean, you know, people point to Tom Brady all the time when they want to talk about great athletes, GOATs who are athletes all the time. They point to Brady, and I point to LeBron James has to cover much more ground, even though he's not being hit by guys who may weigh 100 pounds more. He's got to cover so much more ground. You heard about that ankle injury earlier than the abdominal injury. Look, LeBron's got to be great in terms of what they need from him. He's got to be great an entire season, and he's got to be healthy an entire season. Is that too much to ask? Greeny, I hope not. Nobody wants to see LeBron James on a sideline, you know, drinking coffee or whatever's in that cup. We want to see LeBron James playing because we don't get that many more years of it. But this is going to be the question that is going to follow the Lakers and LeBron the entire season. How consistently can he be healthy and great?
Well, first of all, let's remember a couple of things. Number one, Michael Wilbon can relate to exactly what I'm about to say because he spends a lot of his time in Scottsdale, Arizona. Last time I checked, the weather out there is very beautiful. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, where would I rather be in June? L.A. or San Francisco? Damn it, it's San Francisco. I'm sorry, it's L.A., but it's not going to be L.A. And let me tell you something right now, Jalen Rose. LeBron James is phenomenal. I don't expect anything less from him. It's not about the Lakers. I see the Lakers going to the conference finals. I am making the declaration that the Golden State Warriors are so lethal of an offense led by the greatest shooter God ever created. I think it's too much even for the greatness of LeBron James to overcome. That is different than being disrespectful to him.
I'm not saying it's disrespectful to them, but you also said LeBron won't win another championship because of the Warriors. Correct, because of the Warriors. And I'm telling you, it's not a foregone conclusion just yet. Okay. LeBron James is going to come back, be his same old dominant self. Okay. And you know where we're going to be in the conference finals? Between the Bay Area and Los Angeles.
And I'm going to get an afro again.
Wow.
You know what?
And I'm going to get an afro again.
Thanksgiving,
Jalen,
so a lot of things are still to be worked out.
We always wanted to see Kobe versus LeBron. Well, all of us wanted to see that, right? I mean, desperately we wanted to see it, and we never got it. I mean, some of these projections are so difficult. There are more than 2 teams, by the way. There's more than Golden State and LA in the Western Conference. One of them has won 10 in a row, and they were in the finals last year.
And we will have them in the second game of our doubleheader tonight. Phoenix and Dallas will follow the Lakers and Celtics. We've got a lot to do. Countdown coming up at the top of the next hour. But right now, let me send it back to SportsCenter.
On the ground in Beantown, getting ready for the Celtics-Lakers game. When you look at the Lakers' performance, with and without LeBron James, shocker, they're much better with LeBron James. He is 50-50. Do you expect to see him on the parquet tonight in Boston?
I do, and I hope so. Here's the thing. You're right, Jacoby. It's obvious that they're better with LeBron, but that doesn't mean be 4-6 without him. And I'm telling you, if they go lower than a 5 seed in the West, they ain't winning the championship this year. And you know, that's who I picked going into the season. But the journey's too tough. I said this to you last year. They fell to the 7th, then the 8th. First round exit, Phoenix Suns. No room for error. Hopefully the King returns and has a big game.
Hopefully he does. We're talking about the Celtics, we always say happiness is a function of realistic expectations. They're playing below expectations right now. What do they need to do to turn around?
Well, here's what they shouldn't be doing or thinking about doing. Trading Jalen Brown. Boston Celtics, I'm telling you right now, that would be one of the worst mistakes in the history of the franchise. Don't listen to the naysayers who say Tatum and Brown can't coexist. They're terrific, young, talented players. Just continue to build some front court help around them and get them a playmaker that can make the game easier for both of them. Keep those guys together for a long time.
Jalen, very quickly, we have Lamar Jackson going to lose. They were down double digits in the fourth quarter. What does Steph Curry do? 24th quarter points. Doesn't just bring them from behind to get the win. Brings them from behind to get a double-digit win. Look at where this man is shooting from, Mr. Rose.
Basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court. Curtis Blow was onto something, right? How about this? When I watch Steph Curry play basketball, Jacoby, you see why it's in fast forward? It's because we've never seen anything like this in the history of the NBA. An efficient volume three-point shooter that can make 9 in a basketball game. And seamlessly, effortlessly. Off the catch. Off the dribble. The level of domination you see from like the power of Shaq. Or the mobility of a King. Or the gracefulness of a Michael Jordan playing with his tongue out. Or the ferocity of a LeBron James. Steph Curry has brought that level of enthusiasm and greatness from shooting. And when you and I called him the best player in the game, I need to teach people why I love sports and how this works. There's something called NBA Player of the Week, Player of the Month, and MVP. So that means this changes. And it goes by how you're playing right now. Kind of like king of the court. This is competition. And right now, Steph Curry, playing on the Golden State Warriors, who have the best record in basketball, has been the best performer that I've seen in the league. So right now, he's the best player in the game.
And one thing I want to point out, if you could just run that clip of the Steph Curry buckets that you just showed, is how many of these buckets are assisted by Draymond Green? Because the chemistry that him and Green have built over the years is Draymond is looking for Steph. And when Draymond finds Steph, he always finds him for a bucket. After you see these threes, there's a couple backdoor cuts that Draymond hits him with. Draymond always waits for him to move off a screen, gets the ball right on time, right in the perfect spot, just like that when he hits the threes. Like, the chemistry between these two, like that little backdoor bucket, because everyone's so concerned about him shooting threes that he